The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
The shepherds went with haste to Bethlehem and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen as it had been told them. After 8 days had passed, it was time to circumcise the child, and he was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. The Gospel of the Lord. Brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, it's a great joy to be with you today to celebrate on this solemnity for Mary, Mother of God. It's the oldest solemnity to Mary. She's a very deep mystery for our church, and we have to really model ourselves after her and ponder these things. She seems to have an outsized role for how much she shows up in the Bible. So in order to explain this, I'm going to relate Mary to one of those old headlights you see on a truck, the round ones that were mirrors. And Mary is exactly like this headlight. We're going to nerd out a bit and talk about mathematics and parabolas. Y equals x squared is the simplest parabola that you can define. If you take any value of x and multiply it by itself, positive or negative, you get a positive value for y, and you develop this curve if you were to draw it. The interesting thing about parabolas, no matter the formula, they all have a focal point. So Mary is exactly like this parabola. The headlight works because the source of light is at the focal point of the parabola. And Mary consistently, eternally holds Jesus and her love of God as the focal point of her life. We don't worship Mary as the source. We pray with Mary because she's a perfect reflection of the source. We're all little parabolas. As we come forward to receive Christ, we're going to hold him in our hands in front of us, and we're going to reflect this love of Christ out in the world. It's interesting to think about how Mary is this intercessor for us, this perfect reflector of Christ's love in the world. But I want you to think about all the difficult things that she went through. Another interesting thing about a parabola is when you shine light into a parabola, it gets reflected through the focal point. All these things that happen to us in our lives, we receive them, and they go through our center, our focal point. And if we hold Christ as the focal point of our lives, all of the good things, all of the bad things, all of the hard things, all of the easy things get filtered through Christ. When St. Paul says we're adopted through the pouring out of the Spirit, we're converted through our uniting our sufferings and our successes with Christ. If we keep him at the focal point of our lives, we are transformed. And we gradually change from adopted sons and daughters, brothers and sisters of Christ, into his true brothers and sisters, into true sons and daughters of God. This is challenging work, and it's a perfect time of the year to celebrate this. New Year's resolutions. Let's resolve to hold Christ at the center of our lives, as Mary did, as our model. Let's begin a life of prayer. Let's be gentle with ourselves. I want you to imagine a white fluffy feather falling down out of the sky as fast as it can and landing on a cotton ball. This is how gentle I want you to be with yourselves. As we come forward and fail, be gentle with yourself. You will be received into the loving arms of Christ. Join your prayer with Mary's as she will guide us as a model. It'll be a glorious year. So what do we do with this once we have it? It's not for ours to sit at home with. We become these little tabernacles after we receive Christ today, and we go out. Where there is darkness, we bring the light. Where there's dishonesty, we bring fidelity and honesty. Where there are challenging times, we bring our backs to do hard work to make it better. This is the gift that Christ is to us, and this is the work for the reign of God. We are the hands of Christ in the world around us. This is how we do it. Let's follow Mary's lead. Let's hold Christ at the center of our attention, the focal point of our lives. Let's use him as a filter as we receive these things that come to us this year. Let's filter them through Christ so we may be transformed. As we come forward for communion, let's invite Christ into our hearts. Ask him to make himself well at home. Ask him to become the center of our lives so that we may be transformed. Ask him to give us courage so that we may act in this world that seems to be gone astray. Give us courage to be this light in this world. If we can make one thing 1/60th better tomorrow, let's do that. Let us welcome Christ into this year of ours. We need to focus him in our lives so that we may become his true brothers and sisters. When Father puts his hands up and he prays, we had a bit of a debate on the mathematical calculation on the shape of the parabola, but he's collecting our prayers and he's focusing them through the sacrifice at this altar that he's about to make. He's taking all of our intentions and pouring them out into this offering that we're making through Christ for us. We do this. We can do this every day when we pray.